Hello Metalheads! So I'm here to do the video as promised about the special effects work that I did on those plastic skulls. Now what you're going to see here is you're going to see some pictures for point of reference as we go along here. But some things of note in regard to this particular project is don't wear any nice clothes for this. At all. Don't wear your Sunday best. Absolutely do not use your favorite brushes. Use either old brushes, that preferably big ones, or cheapy ones. Like this is a cheapy one, for example. And you want to use a bigger brush for sure in this particular project, so that way you can cover more real estate when you're working with not only the paint but also the liquid latex, which I'll get to in a second. Another thing of note is in regard to liquid latex. Liquid latex can have a strong smell to it, and it is also an adhesive if you're not familiar. So if you are worried about things getting on a surface, make sure all of your surfaces are covered. This includes your floor. If you know, like I said, don't wear your best clothes, because you know this is very messy stuff to work with. And then also, if you have any sort of breathing problems or you want to just protect yourself in general, make sure to wear a mask, because it does have sort of a strong smell. It's not like keel you over kind of strong, but you know, with the strength, the smell is definitely there. Make sure to wear rubber gloves. Like I said, this stuff is very messy to work with. I did this for work. We have a contest going on for Halloween decorations at work, and our areas, you know, different departments have different areas in the office. We work as a team, and then each of our parts gets decorated, and then on Monday they're going to judge tomorrow, which is tomorrow. In our area, we're doing a whole cemetery with a mausoleum and all that fun stuff, so I helped get some supplies for that. But then also I sat there and I was like, can I do some special effects on some skulls, please? And you know, because I have an awesome boss, she sat there and she picked me up from Walmart some plastic skulls. Okay, those ones are $4.98 each. They are, I suggest, if you want it to be as realistic as possible, to get like as adult size of skulls as you can. But if you can't, then no big deal. So just to give you a point of reference, those particular skulls that were $4.98, those ones were size of a kid's head or a small adult. They weren't like true adult size, but you can find those on Amazon or at a Halloween store. But those ones do tend to be more expensive. So if you're trying to stick to a budget, then you know, just get those at Walmart. And there's also ones that you can get at Dollar Tree and I think Dollar General. But some of those, because of the fact that they're, you know, not so realistic looking skulls for some of the part, then you know, you might have to give them a little extra help, a little more oomph, you know. So once you have those plastic skulls, of course, remove any tags that are on them. I say wipe them down with a clean cloth, or take any sort of dust or any sort of debris off of it. Keeps it nice and clean. Also helps that liquid latex adhere on there even better, right? Then what you would do is you take a container. I say use something that you're not going to, you know, use again. Again, this is really messy stuff. In this particular case, I used a glass jar. All right, a glass jar from like pickles that we had. I cleaned it in the dishwasher, and then I used it for the liquid latex. That way I could throw it out and it's not a thing. You might also have like extra plastic or something from a blister pack or something like that. You can use that. I've done that before as well for like special effects makeup. That's fine, you know, stuff like that. So you're gonna pour some liquid latex, and liquid latex, you can get it for relatively cheap. This one I got on Amazon, it was on sale. I do tend to get liquid latex in bulk because I do other special effects work and special effects makeup, and this I use as a adhesive for prosthetics, just to give you an idea. But you can get these small bottles. It has 16 ounces and it will be more than enough. There's even ones that you can get that come with makeup sets, and they're smaller bottles, and you could totally use those too. But I'm not sure, it depends on how many skulls you're going to be doing, but having that little bottle might not be enough if you're going to do a lot of skulls. But if you're only going to do like 1, 2, or in my case I did 3 of them, then it should be okay, you know. Do not dilute the liquid latex when you do this particular project, because it will affect everything going on there for you with the cotton, which I'm going to get to that. So you're going to need liquid latex, you're going to need cheapy brushes, don't dress nice, and you're going to need some cotton. Okay, cotton balls are fine. right? They have those cotton discs, but I feel like those don't really break the same. Before I sat there and put the paint on, first I took my cheapy brush in the container I told you about, and then I dip the brush into the liquid latex, and I start by doing a coat over the skull. Now, don't do the entire skull first and then put the cotton. Do it in sections. It'll all come together. Don't worry about it. So you're going to go through and you're going to take the liquid latex and you're going to take, put some on a certain area. And then after you get it on a certain area, you break up the cotton. I'm sorry, I don't have the skulls with me. I had to hand them in. But you would take the cotton and you'd stretch it out. And I say best practice, do them in like as thin little pieces as you can, and then because you can always build on it, if you don't feel it's thick enough or big enough, and make a variation. Like, let it be more that there's more in some areas and then thinner in other areas, because realistically, if flesh is coming off of a skull, it doesn't happen symmetrical. It doesn't happen even all throughout. It's very random, right? So you go through, you stretch out this cotton, you put it on top of where you painted the liquid latex on, and then you take your brush again, dip it in the liquid latex, and then paint over this cotton. Another thing that you can use besides cotton is you can also use tissue. So if, let's say, you don't have cotton and you want to use tissue, you can. Or you can use both, and then it creates even more texture and stuff, and it totally still works. So that's not an issue. You could totally do that. And then what I do is, after I get that liquid latex on and the cotton in different areas and make it look different, and you could see in the reference photos that there's more in some places, a little less than others and stuff, let it cure. Have it on something that's covered, away from kids, away from you being able to hit into it, and away from your animals, right? And let it cure. I sat there, I let it cure overnight, just in case, so I'm not putting paint on it too soon or what have you. So if that's something that you want to make sure about, like me, then just do it overnight. In my particular case, I used Warhammer paints, but you can use any acrylic paints. It doesn't matter. I just felt like the washes were going to be quicker to work with and lend itself a little better. So that's why I ended up using that there. And I used first, after I put on the liquid latex and cotton, I used Agrax Earthshade. And as you go along, an important step is going to be using a paper towel. And you're gonna need a good bit of paper towels because it's really messy. And you're gonna go through, and as you paint some area, you take the paper towel and you just dab it. And that way, it won't take all of the wash, so don't worry about it. It'll still stay in the recessed areas, that's no problem. I also use Seraphim Sepia. That was the second color I used. Same thing, paint on, dab, dab, dab with the paper towel. Then I used Blood for the Blood God. Blood for the Blood God, I did dilute this just a little bit, just so that it goes on quicker and smoother over the surface. And again, I did use the paper towel still and dab, dab, dab as I went along. And then for last, I used Nuln Oil. Same thing, and use the paper towel for that. So just sit there and I just start painting on it. Paint straight on it. You do not have to prime on it. As a matter of fact, I advise that you don't, because it will make it look less realistic. It will affect the texture and stuff that the liquid latex and the cotton or tissue does together. So just paint straight over it, and the paint will still adhere on it just fine. And then if you want to seal it after, I mixed sealer in it. So you could do either or, it's totally fine. You could spray sealer on it, that's fine too. You are gonna notice, even after the liquid latex cures, that it might still be sticky on certain surfaces, and that's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. It just, just clean off if needed and stuff like that. After a while, it won't do it anymore, but just so you know, if you notice that, don't be nervous. You can still paint over the top of the skull. And that's pretty much it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So wish me luck. There were a couple of other sections that did a pretty bang-up job, so it's going to be some tough competition for sure on that. But everybody who did pass by my skulls did sit there and think they were real, so that must mean I did a good job, right? Okay. And then there's also a costume contest, so wish me luck on that too. I plan to be Freddy Krueger. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give a like. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Tell them what's going on, especially if they're Halloween fans like myself. And I hope that you guys have a really good day. Stay safe out there.